Now that my website is fully functioning and online, and I've adapted into a system that makes sense to me, where I can make things and then upload them, and have this be like a privatized Instagram that only I control, and I put my own things on, and it's super easy to send to people or show people. I also still know that I don't have a good reason to do that because I don't get any enjoyment from showing it to people, and I intuitively and instinctually know that it doesn't make sense to go to work every day and make money if I just pump it into this thing that I know isn't sustainable. I mean, it's just and then you have to deal with the like, oh, you do it because you enjoy it thing, which to me ends up just being about like just big ideas like that turns into big ideas so quickly, like oh, I should destroy myself, or by doing like some kind of insane form of ecstasy, like ecstasis. I just keep drawing and keep drawing and keep drawing, and then expand into this, like, just that's the fantasy, is that you just expand into a place where it just keeps happening forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Then people will tell you that you're like mentally ill, or that you need to find balance. um, those are stupid too. They just are stupid. It's like, oh, you're mentally ill, but you survive, so the meaning of life is to survive. Other people have this dumbass idea where you like don't have a right to tell people how to live unless the way that they live affects you, and that could happen like physically. Like if the way you live is violent or affects other people physically, they'll recognize that more immediately than the other form of physical affectation, which is by being a psychological problem in the environment, whether that's like just kind of you existing quietly. You can still be a psychological problem if you exist quietly. Like if the way that you do things or the way that you operate doesn't like make sense to other people, like it can like cause it can cause like ruptures in the way that other people relate to you, which if they like you or don't like you, that can cause ruptures in the way that they relate to other people after having related to you. And that might spiderweb back to you in weird ways that are kind of unconscious and um, difficult to nail down. So I'm not like a goal oriented person at all. Um, I have like pretty extreme like ups and downs. Like I have like pretty extreme habits, but I also have like habits that fluctuate. But then I also have like a couple kind of extreme interests. So like I guess drawing is one of those things. The other thing is like music, or um like units. Any kind of like unit is really easy for me to fetishize. Like certain types of organization, I'll do certain types of organization in my room, or like at work, or just in the world. In my head, I fetishize certain types of organization, but I recognize that there's like a deep there's some conflicted stuff in there about like, well, who am I organizing it for? What is the purpose of organizing it? And then you just get on and on and on, and like the endless destructive telos of like like the preemptive analysis of your actions. So I don't believe in pretense. I know pretense. I'm saying I don't believe in pretense. Like I know that you have to forget it. I believe it so hard. I know how powerful it is. I know that you have to forget it to do anything. So I try to forget about pretense before I do anything that matters to me or that I enjoy. Or at least I also, if that doesn't work, I try to acknowledge that the pretense is there. This is like the monkey brain thing that Buddhists will tell you about. I acknowledge the pretense is there, and I just let it exist until hopefully it goes away, but that's not a project that you can be consciously aware of. It just has to happen on its own. You can eat banana slices and peanut butter with a piece of dark chocolate and blueberries in a cup. That's good for you. Why are things good for you? So then you end up in the back of the thing where like people tell you to relax or find balance in things, but they also don't have a good reason for doing that. So if you're the kind of person that doesn't like that likes to just kind of think experimentally, not pretentiously, but think experimentally in like the raw kind of like raw ecstasis, uh, existing in the fluid flow of things happening to you all the time, and then just kind of like draw in response to that, of course, without pretense and unconsciously, and then buy CDs. Um, yeah, I mean, I almost never have any money because I will do the things I need to do and then spend all of the money on either like something kind of flippant and immediate, like a remaking my website, or like spending $38 on it, or just like buying six $20 CDs. Like that's something I'll do. I mean, I mean, you show art to other people. I know that it affects people. I know that people like it. It doesn't like it doesn't help you do it any better. So if it doesn't help you do it any better, then it's not going to be sustainable for you to believe that there's some kind of economy where you do it to help people. It just won't. I mean, for me, it won't go anywhere. I can't do anything with that. I can't exist in an art economy, like at any kind of bigger level, without a fucking handler. So, and I think in a lot of ways, people would tell you, like people who know me would, if they were working on my behalf with like some kind of higher conscious bank thing, banking entity or money person, they'd be like, oh, well, he needs a fucking handler 100%. We can't tell him about that needing a handler thing because then he'll know about it and then it'll go into like the whole like, oh, I'm doing this for somebody else, so I can't lose the pretense function. If I can't lose the pretense function, then I can't do it, and then I won't do it. So, um, I don't know. Here's my Joe Ho Discordance Access CD. Again, they put it in a DVD case. I got Phaedra by Tangerine Dream. I was obsessed with learning how to bookbind this properly for a week, and originally I was going to put drawings, like a kind of texture on the other side of this page, but I didn't do it. I was also planning to make a video where I showed this book on like a YouTube short, but anytime I want to do that, it's like, well, why the everlasting fuck would I need to do that at all? So that incentive just kind of destroyed itself immediately, and I ended up just putting things on a website. So this does exist in book form, and I guess that if I never did have a handler, they could help me like format this. But I really don't give a fuck. I like it, but not in a way that like I would tell anybody about, because I don't want to hear them talk about it. But I will make a website and show it to people for now, and I'm sure that in a week that will change, and I'll only want to make books. Bye, bye. I'm not like annoyed that much. It just is what it is. So it's like I don't know what anybody thinks they need to be doing. I'm just kind of waiting for just kind of like waiting for worse shit to kick off so eventually we can get to the point where people are quieter. Um but if people were quieter, maybe I wouldn't have anything to draw about. Isn't that stupid? That's kind of like that idea where people say, well, if I go to hell, at least I'll be in there with all the cool people. If I go to hell, if I go to hell and die, at least I'll be there with Charles Bukowski. You do not want Charles Bukowski to be your roommate in hell. Like, that's like a that's just that's just so American. Bye, 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 bye.